What's up, guys? This is a crippler, Chris Lieben, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
Good morning, Will.
Good morning.
Good morning, dude. I have a different background today.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a blizzard over here. And for those that don't know, I have like this nice, like little setup in my garage. You know what I mean, where I do that out of. And right now, it's got to be 10 degrees in that garage right now. It's an ice box.
It's an ice box.
It's an ice box. Not gonna do it in there today.
I'm
Every
surprised
time
you
I
didn't
would say
bring
something.
in. I'm surprised you didn't bring in your all your pictures and put them on the dresser right there underneath the TV.
I was thinking about just bringing them in and just holding them like this the entire time. So that it just, but it'd be kind of awkward.
Just over your face.
Dude, did you get to watch all the fights last night?
I did. Yeah, I did. Did you?
Yes, except for like the very, very first one, I think actually.
Okay, gotcha. Well,
But I started off with Ewell Gutierrez.
Okay, yeah, we'll start right there then.
Got a moment of silence.
Quick moment of silence for the fallen fights on this card.
The fallen fights.
Robertson versus Miranda Maverick was gonna be the first fight on the card, and that got canceled. I think day of, right before it started. Then you have the one I was looking forward to the most: Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. Bobby Green collapsed, backstage after the weight cut. Made the weight, but close to kidney failure. I think he had the same collapsed lung thing that I had. He did like a live video on Instagram, like in the hospital, talking about it. And the way he was explaining it sounds exactly like the same thing I had. Not the kidney failure, but the lung thing. So hopefully he's good now. I think he's fine now. Just
Shout out to Sam.
Getting back to healthy. Yeah, shout out to Sam. Just graduated his rescue team thing in
congrats,
Navy.
Sam. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Congrats, Sam. Pedro Munoz versus Jimmy Rivera was supposed to be on
That's
here.
one I was really looking forward to. I had a 3-fight parlay, and that was one of the fights. I replaced it with another one, which I'll fill you in. The Pedro Munoz. I had Pedro Munoz.
Yeah, he looked
in my
really good
parlay.
against Frankie in his last fight.
He did.
A lot of people
He
had him
did.
winning it. But that was going to be a fun fight. And then Chris Weidman versus Uriah Hall, which was a cool fight. Stylistically, that was going to be a really fun fight, but Weidman got COVID. So, moment of silence.
Moment of silence. A lot of fun fights that we missed out on.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man, I was really looking forward to the Pedro Munoz fight.
me too.
And the Jimmy Rivera fight. But like I said, I was able to replace that fight with another fight on the parlay, which we'll cover later. Teaser.
And if you want to jump, same thing like last time, if you want to jump forward at all, we got timestamps for each fight underneath. So in the description, in the comments, if you don't care about some of the prelim fights or if you don't care about certain fights, but you do care about others, you just click the timestamp and go to those.
Yeah, for sure. And man, I got to get better at this. I always forget. We're on Apple Podcasts now. We're on Spotify now. We're on other ones as well.
Anchor.
Google Cast, something like that. Yeah. Hey, Richard Casual, what else are we on?
Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts. We are on Breaker. We are on Stitcher, I think now. Apple Podcasts, you got it right. Spotify, and then please like and subscribe on YouTube. It really helps us out. Please subscribe. Tell your friends out loud. Real UFC nuts. I know you got friends. Tell them to watch the show.
There you go.
Thank you, Richard Casual. What would we do without
Couldn't have said
Richard
it better
Casual now?
myself.
All right, so we could start off with Ewell versus Gutierrez, man. I think this was a catchweight fight, a 140.
Yeah, it was. This was Gutierrez had to deal with a puzzle in this one. In that first round, you could tell he was just really struggling to find the range. Ewell was doing a great job with his footwork, just staying away, staying long, catching when he came in. It looked like he was on the path to just shut out Gutierrez for the whole fight. It was a fun fight.
Yeah, I loved Ewell's movement that first round for sure.
Yeah, got cracked.
Gutierrez is quickly becoming one of my favorite fighters to watch in the bantamweight division, just because his striking is so slick, so smooth, and creative. Like, I'm just thinking about when he went in for the Superman punch, and it somehow turned into a flying knee.
Yeah.
You know, and I just think of like the video games when you're like halfway through a move and you're like, well, let me press another button.
I'm just gonna
And like
cancel
he does
that one.
like this weird move, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it looked like. But Gutierrez, man, I think he's gonna be able to do some work in that division.
Yeah, did you he caught him with the high kick at the end of the first that he caught him with that high kick and
Yeah,
hurt him a little
and
bit.
he like stands up and points at him after
and
it.
then
Yeah.
from that moment on, just kind of took it, you know.
Well, it seemed like he got the movement down. It seemed like he got the timing down.
Well, also Ewell's movement after that high kick really kind of became a lot more basic.
It's true.
Not bad.
More flat-footed after that. Yeah,
but definitely not as bouncy, not as in and out. So he got the timing and everything a lot easier after that.
When he started bouncing a lot, he probably didn't really have his legs under him very much.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, the commentary was a little weird in this fight.
Oh, dude, please, are you gonna tell me about the Anik comments about the
A little weird.
both fighters going through custody battles for their kids? Yeah, when I heard that,
Little
the same
weird.
thing, because my wife was watching the fights with me, and I was like, I'm pretty sure John Anik just started talking about their custody battles in the middle of the fight. I
Really
didn't like
weird. It was probably something that ESPN told him to say, you know, and Anik is a company man, so he's gonna say it. But it was just really weird. They're like, and Ewell, you know, doesn't have custody of his 10-year-old, but he's got a 2-year-old or like a 2-month-old or a baby 2 months away or something like that. And it's like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah,
You know, these guys don't want this on the broadcast. It's
yeah,
so
putting
weird.
it out on blast. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so glad you brought that up because it kind of made me upset a little bit. I was like, dude, what are we talking about right now? What are we
Yeah.
doing?
It's the constant
this-
need for the backstory and like the ESPN specifically does this where they like want a tragic backstory for every person they focus on.
It's
It's
Disney.
like, man, sometimes it's just fighting, you know?
Fucking Disney.
We don't need to know that. Dude, did you
Sometimes
see
it's Gutierrez has phenomenal leg kicks,
Yeah,
and sometimes it's Ewell has phenomenal movement,
yeah.
and sometimes it's he gets clocked with a high kick, and that's
Did you-
the drama. That's the drama in it.
Yeah. Did you see his tweet, Gutierrez, after the fact that he deleted?
No.
All right. It's a little fucked up, but
Ooh, now I want to hear it.
nobody watches this at a high stature, you know, so I'll just say it anyways. He said, it's interesting how John Anik brings up my custody battle, but doesn't discuss when he got caught cheating on his wife in 2017.
Oh, snaps.
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, and he deleted it. Probably realized it's not in good taste to stoop, you know, or go deeper, but
Yeah, at what
Pretty heavy.
point, though, does John Anik, at what point do any of these other announcers also say, hey, I'm not going to stoop that low? I know ESPN probably wants some of this drama. I'm just
Yeah.
not going to read it out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, dude, I'm kind of glad he actually posted that because maybe, just maybe next time Anik will say, if I'm thinking about talking about something so personal, I might want to, you know, partner with them first and see if they're okay with it. If they're
It's
not,
just a
I
weird-
won't mention it.
it's just a weird one because it's like that's just such a weird touchy subject, you know, like why would it's different than like, oh, Francis Ngannou had a really hard time getting into Europe and he had to deal with all this adversity and he was working in a sand mine from when he was 10 years old to 17.
Or Bobby Green's story.
Yeah, you know, like very different. Custody battles
Yeah,
are
as soon
hairy.
as you get kids involved,
know?
man, you know what? There's a line that's got to be drawn somewhere.
Yeah,
It might have been the line,
yeah.
and Gutierrez might have just said by
Could've done
posting that
without
tweet,
that.
like, yeah. All right, well, let's.
And he
let's
knows,
move on.
hey, I posted it, but I deleted it. But it's still out. Obviously, it's still out there. I just found it right now, so
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm sure Anik knows about it.
Oh man.
And respect to Anik. I like Anik, but yeah, it was poor taste for sure.
But good for Gutierrez to fire back on that.
Yeah,
one, you know.
yeah,
I know it might have not been the classiest way to respond, but again, somebody's got to put their foot down and draw that line in the sand, and that
Yeah.
might have been how he did it. So,
yeah, definitely.
the next fight, Viana versus Martin.
Yeah, this was sick, dude. This was slick as hell. I think she get a performance bonus for this? She did. Yeah.
Yeah, she
50
did.
grand, dude. Gotta respect the jits, you know? It was sick, dude.
Jiu-jitsu. Man,
Jiu-jitsu.
I was like, Martin, what are you doing? Because she was getting the better of her with the boxing.
Yeah.
And as soon as she went to the ground, she's like, oh, you want to take it down the ground? Sure.
I'll go
down there with you. And I was like, no. What? Stop. Like, that's a perfect opportunity for you to just be able to step back and say, hey, let's stand it up again.
Mm-hmm.
Because her boxing was so good to start off.
Which we did see later in the night.
Another teaser.
Yeah. Also, Amanda Ribas, who's everybody's super high on, right? Just had a loss, whatever happens. Her only other loss is to Viana in like 2015 in Jungle Fight. So Viana's no joke, man. I mean, she's had ups and downs for sure, but she's game. That was slick,
dude. Will somebody who is a jiu-jitsu practitioner themselves?
I got a white belt.
But you're a jiu-jitsu practitioner. So, I mean, how obvious was it to you? Because I didn't do jiu-jitsu as long as you did, right? Mm-hmm. And even as Viana was, pulling her legs up higher and higher in the guard, and I was like, here comes a triangle. And then, like, a few seconds after that, boom, she tries to lock in the triangle. And I'm just thinking, like, again, Martin, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Whose fault is this? I don't know what the plan was going in, but you think the coaches would have said, at all costs, stay off the ground.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to piece her up. We'll see how that's going. We'll make adjustments on the feet.
At least not in her guard.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But she seemed like she was very comfortable with the idea of getting in her guard. Yeah. And I think once she saw a few quick transitions, she was like not so comfortable anymore. Yeah. So who do you put that on?
I just put that on honestly probably just lack of experience.
Okay.
She goes down, I'm getting top position, I'm winning this fight. It just comes with time in there probably, She'll learn from this one for sure, So I think that's all it comes down. I don't think it was a game plan thing. I think it's just a mental error, She's trying to win the fight, So
yeah.
Could have been maybe if there was a stricter game plan, she wouldn't have, but who knows, There might have been, she just didn't listen, who knows, But
like you said, she could have gotten overexcited just thinking about the fact that
top control. Get top control.
Yeah. Exactly.
And yeah, man. She threw that up quick. There was not a lot of time grappling before that submission was up.
She did. Man, to Martin's credit, though, she hung in there for a while.
She survived the triangle.
Yeah, she survived the triangle. That was forever, too.
Yeah.
The armbar?
And it looked synced up. I just didn't know. I was like, where's the space? There's space somewhere. I don't know what it was, because at first she was stacked a little bit too much. But then she was able to walk back with her shoulders to stretch her out a little bit, and then it looked like it was tight. She pulled her foot to tighten it. Wasn't really pulling the head too much. Yeah, but yeah, for whatever reason, it wasn't like cinched up. But so for her to be able to chain to the armbar was pretty sick too. She's slick on the ground. I love shit like that, dude.
For sure.
It was fun.
Anything else on that fight?
Not really. Not really. Also, real quick though, for this card, a lot of people talking shit going into this card. A lot of people saying, "Oh, it's not pay-per-view worthy."
About the lack of star power, or
yeah. And me and George were talking about it, and I was like, "Dude, honestly, I think I texted him either yesterday or the day before, and I was like, dude, honestly, looking at because I went through the card again and was looking at it, I was like, dude, some of these matchups, man, like this has a ton of potential for an exciting night. And I feel like it delivered super well.
I think so
too. It was a super good card. It seems like every time I see everybody going, man, this card's boring. It's not a great card. All this stuff. It's just going to be a banger. Because you know what I mean? Every time, everybody's like, oh, the lackluster card delivers. Every single time. At what point do we realize, like, we don't need the big names, It's all about styles and shit, so.
A lot of these names that we see here are going to end up being some of the big names. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? All right, the next one, Muhammad versus Lima. Remember
the name,
What a nickname, huh?
Belal, remember the name Muhammad.
Yeah, man.
Great nickname, man.
Muhammad's pressure
insane.
Insane, man.
Yeah,
Insane.
no room.
No room. He was getting everything off first.
Yeah,
Lima seemed like he was content with sitting back and trying to counter.
trying to just take his legs out.
It was just nonstop pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Just nonstop pressure, man. And it was from the beginning all the way to the very last round on that takedown that required a ton of strength. And man, I was just super impressed with with Muhammad.
How are we supposed to gauge this fight and really be interested if we don't know if they have any custody battles in their history?
We needed more background story.
Where are their kids? No, but
they talked about Muhammad having COVID, and his parents had COVID.
Yeah, gotta love that drama. But this fight in the first round, it was like the crazy pressure from Belal, but then Lima was like chopping his legs up to bits against the cage, like while his back was against the cage. And I was like, man, these guys are they're just sticking with their game plan. Lima's like, I'm taking your legs out. Hopefully you go down with this. I mean, obviously not go down really, but
hopefully
he was
I'll
just trying to take away the
this.
pressure, because Belal was just nonstop, almost all hands, right? Just keeping him against the cage, just battering him the whole time. And after the first, I was like, I wonder which one is going to fold first. Is Lima going to fold to these hands of Muhammad, or is Muhammad going to eventually, are his legs not going to be able to take this? But then as we watch, I wouldn't say Lima like folded really, but you could tell.
Dude, you could kind of see like he looked defeated though, especially in that third round where he was like, well, shit, like I've been chopping away at these legs for 2 rounds already.
And
I don't know what it's going to take. And you even hear the announcer saying like, man, that leg is beat up. DC, that leg is beat up, Joe.
Yeah.
And Joe's like, well, he seems to be moving around just fine. It's just a super impressive performance from Remember the Name.
Yeah. I mean, he looked really good, man. Who did he call out? He called out who did he call out? Li Jingliang?
Oh,
great fight.
Li Jingliang.
Great fight.
Please
I would love to
see
fight. That.
Take my money.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, man. What a great stylistically, that's a banger, dude. That's a great
and
fight.
You know what? And a really good call out too, right? Because I think Belal,
he's not shooting too high,
Yeah, I think he said Li Jingliang's 10th and he was 11th or something like that. He's like, let's go at it, And those are the type of call outs I like to see. Like some people like to shoot their shot. I get it, but
Miley Cyrus, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Although it seems like it worked for him if you see the result from... Yeah.
I've seen one result, but I haven't seen the...
That's a fight that I think like Mick Maynard would look at and be like, okay, let's make it happen.
Yeah. Dude, because that's... Li Jingliang is becoming a fan favorite, And Belal should be, And that's one of those fights where I feel like no matter whoever wins that fight obviously is going to go up, but whoever loses that fight, no one's going to care. No one's going to care who loses that fight. It's going to be a banger.
Belal seems like a well-spoken guy too, nice or very charismatic. So we'll see if like more fans start paying attention to him here in these next couple of fights, especially if he puts up like a similar type of performance against Li Jingliang. Dude, I really want to see that fight now after you called that out. As soon as he said it, I was like, yes.
That's the one. Yeah.
That's the
one.
Dude,
and welterweight is log jammed right now, heavily at the top. So we need guys like this who are just okay with just grinding their way up there and earning their spot, instead of whatever else is going on. But
well, like what else? What do you mean? What else is going on, Will? Speak your truth, man.
Speak your truth. Here's my truth. My truth is that nobody in that division has had issues getting custody of their children, and Belal might. No, but in all seriousness, the whole the top 5 of that division just refusing to fight each other.
Yep.
They're already talking about a Colby rematch. Why are we doing that? Yep. Does everybody who beats Tyron Woodley get a title shot now? At what point does that not get you a title shot? We just saw it happen. Masvidal, I don't want to see him fight Kamaru again. It's going to be the same exact thing. We just got through Burns. Leon probably needs a fight until he gets a title shot. which has been a fiasco, clearly.
And he's calling out.
So
We'll talk about it later in Will's Wisdom.
Yeah, and they refuse to give Wonderboy anybody above him, and they're using him as a gatekeeper to the top 5 that nobody can get past, and nobody in the top 5
keeps on shutting that gate on every single time.
So it's like that top 5. It's just not. It's not moving. Everybody's talking about, oh, Kamaru already ran through the top 5 of his division. It's because there's been no change in the top 5. You know, I want to see him fight Wonderboy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Welterweight division has been a shit show for a while, and I don't know who's to blame with that.
Yep.
But it's log jammed. You know, it's so log jammed.
Agree, sir. Agree.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just give Leon the title shot. Who gives a fuck? I know he wants to fight on the card that he was slated to because he doesn't want to be inactive for over 2 years in his prime.
I just want to see him fight.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of this going on in the top 5, like all the time. And Wonderboy is the one that's super nice all the time. Be like, hey, mister, like, hey, see you're looking for a fight. I'm available, you know. But nobody wants to fight Wonderboy because that's a big risk. That's a big risk. So if you're Leon Edwards and you keep on saying, you know, like I only want to fight for the belt. The only reason he was going to fight Hamzat was because they said, okay, well, we're taking your rank.
Taking you out. Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay. Hamzat sounds like a good fight. No, but before that, he was just talking in entitlement. That's what it sounds like. Like everybody feels like they're entitled to a title fight within the top 5, and nobody wants to mix it in or mix it up within the top 5, which is just causing a stalemate. Yeah,
it's super frustrating. Especially because, dude, Usman's awesome. He really is, you know? So it's like, it sucks. I don't want to see him have a bunch of rematches when we don't need him, you know?
For sure.
I don't know.
All right.
It sucks because Leon wants to stay on that card that he was slated to, and Wonderboy can't make it for that fight. It's too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Which sucks because I want to see that fight. You know?
Yep.
I don't know.
All right. Let's move on. Dude. Vieira versus Hernandez. Hernandez, another one that got a fight of the night bonus. This is your story of the fight?
Yeah. How can it not be, man? I mean, obviously there's other fights that it could be, but Hernandez just came in just like not giving a fuck, you know? It was just like, I know where I'm. DC said it best. He put it into words perfectly. He said, at the end of the fight, he said, Hernandez, let's be honest, was in this fight to lose.
Yep.
He's here to lose. But he refused to accept his place. And that shit's fucking awesome. I love that shit. That's so sick. You know, like, nobody takes this fight. There's a reason we're not seeing this guy fight very often in Vieira. So the reason is because everybody knows how extremely dangerous he is.
He's a monster.
They don't want to look like a fool, and they don't want to be a stepping stone in his climb to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And Hernandez just said, "Fucking hold my guillotine, dude," and just it's fucking awesome.
I love the fact that Hernandez could have taken him out with strikes. He could have taken him out with ground and pound, and I feel like he made a conscious decision to take him out via submission.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, he did say he thinks he broke his hand too, and that's why he was throwing more elbows and trying to land the flying knee and stuff like that. But man, also talking about the chin on Vieira, dude, he ate that high kick, the Holly Holm Ronda high kick, the getting up and still in the clinch, and then bam, throw it as on the break. He just ate that clean and just stayed up.
So, Vieira was a minus 400 favorite going into this.
Yeah. How about this? At the end of the first round, where the tides have already turned at this point, it was still plus 4,000 to get Hernandez by submission in round 2. The live betting odds plus 4,000 to get him submission round 2. That's crazy.
Wow, going into the second?
After the first round, the live betting odds for submission in the second round for Hernandez plus 4,000.
Wow.
That's insane, dude.
I should have been keeping track of that.
Who would have thought? I thought for sure he was going to put him out on his feet. Did not expect him to, especially with the guillotine of all submissions.
So exhausted. Just completely drained.
Yeah.
Dude, by the way, some of the best shit when DC was like, It's all those muscles, man. People make fun of me because I'm fat, but dude,
But the
it
liquid
allows
travels
me
through the fat.
to.
You're all scientific.
Goes like, is that science? Like DC science, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, love them together. When they're together,
Yeah.
dude, best
It's the best.
commentary. And,
Yeah.
and Anik too when he's not talking about weird stuff. But
I
when
know.
I love that trio right there, man. It's a
It's
great
really
trio.
good. It's really good.
Um,
I wonder
Yeah.
with Vieira, let's be honest. We know there's not really any drug testing in ADCC,
Oh, dude.
which is why all the ADCC champs lately look like Hector Lombard. You know what I mean? And I wonder
dude had
if
muscles
he's
on
not-
his abs.
Yeah. And I wonder if he's used to having that boost for his cardio, and he can't do it here. I wonder if that played a factor. You know what I mean? Dude, you look at all those top guys right now, they all look like that. Since when, you know? But also,
It's all that acai, dude.
first time an ADCC champ has been submitted in the UFC. They're 77-43 combined, all the ADCC champs who have fought in the UFC, and this is the very first time one has been submitted.
Ah, poor
Insane.
Vieira.
I know.
Poor Vieira.
Yeah.
Oh well. And
The only other one I can think of, Renzo Gracie got subbed, but it was in Pride, so you cherry pick it and say just in the UFC.
Yeah. Hernandez is a former LFA middleweight champion too, so way to
Yeah.
represent for the LFA champions out there.
Yeah, I loved his interview too, man.
Yeah.
Just like just put himself out there, you know. I love it.
Again, like you said, DC put it perfectly. Somebody that was put in there to lose,
Mhm.
and he was just loose, man.
Yeah,
You know, the
Yep.
really good scrambles in that first round too. He was in trouble.
dude, he was in big trouble. There was
He
a
was in
few times
trouble.
where I thought that Vieira could have finished it if he really, really sold on it. But that also just might have been Hernandez staying calm and defending and not freaking out and getting caught, you know?
Mhm.
So I'm going to give
And he
props.
said that too.
Yeah, I would rather give props to Hernandez for that than say that Vieira didn't commit to stuff. Because, I don't know. I'd rather just say Hernandez got out of him. And then, dude, when you're attacking...
Did he have an
attacking it-
advantage with the UFC tape on his ears?
No, because we saw later that that's not a guarantee there.
Man, so this next fight kind of bummed me out a little bit. Pitolo versus Marquez.
It's hard being a
And-
Pitolo fan, man.
Dude, he's just such an exciting fighter. Always brings it. I thought they were going to be slanging and banging the entire time.
Me too.
And Pitolo was like, check out my wrestling.
He's like, oh, did you know that I switched to Extreme Couture?
Dude,
Dude. I told my dad, because I watched these fights with my dad, and I told him going into this, I was like, man, I would love to see Pitolo get a win because he keeps putting on these super entertaining fights, but he just finds himself somehow on the other end of them, on the wrong side of them. And once again, you know, everything was going so well. And then with what? Less than a minute left? Yeah, 50 seconds left. No, 40, 43
it was less
seconds
than a
left.
minute. It was less than a minute.
43 seconds left. Defeat. You know? It
Yeah,
just
you could
pulled
see it in
away
his
that
face
W, man.
too. You could see it in his face too when he was
Man,
just
he
sitting there like
fucking
looking
had it.
around. He had it. And
Yeah. It's
I-
tough, man.
I just didn't know what kind of night it was going to be for Marquez as soon as I heard his walkout song. Will, you know how
I
I
was
feel
all
about the
about
walkout songs.
That guy was
Man.
he's trippy, man.
He's
a trippy
trippy.
guy.
I like the song, but when he was getting like the Vaseline
He's all
and stuff put
dancing.
on, and he like had his arms out, and he's just like
Yeah.
really back forth, I was like, all right, I don't know how loose this guy might be right now, a little too loose maybe.
A little
I don't
too
know.
loose.
But dude, another thing that impressed a lot though is James Krause corner work.
Yep.
Dude,
Yeah. Especially after that
When-
second round, going into the
oh
third.
my god, I was
Ooh.
ready to stand up and run through a wall, dude. I was like, let's do this, dude.
I'm
James
not gonna
Krause,
take a step
man.
back.
Yeah, I can't take a step
Yeah.
back. Dude, he talked about motivation,
Mhm.
and they know their fighters best, but it seemed like he told Marquez exactly what he needed to hear
Yeah.
before he went out there.
And props to Marquez for listening to it, man. He really did. You know?
Oh yeah,
Dude, some people will in that situation will try their best and just succumb to the pressure, you know? And he said, same thing. Refusing to accept his place. Down 2-0, going into the third in a grimy fight. And was just like, dude, I still got 5 minutes. With a minute left, I still got 1 minute.
And I know it's early, but I think James Krause is working his way towards Story of the Fight, second annual Coach of the Year. He's working there. He's working towards it. He might be thinking, I need to improve my coaching. I need to stand out so that I can get that award.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe
that's
then I'll look at our messages on Instagram.
No, but Marquez, he might have just also said, I need the interview so I can give a shout out to Miley Cyrus. That might have been his ultimate motivator.
Also, is UFC paying this dude to do that promo thing for the hashtag UFC Get Loud or some shit like that?
That was weird.
It was weird.
That was another weird one.
The guy seems like a robot.
Yeah.
And I mean, even on disrespect.
The pre-fight interviews, where they sit down in the dark room and they're talking about what they expect for the fight. Dude, it seems so scripted. And he practiced the script over and over and over again.
Yeah. And his inflections on everything, it's like he's very charismatic about it, but it seems detached at the same time.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Blade Runner-y about that guy, dude.
So Miley Cyrus responds and says for him to shave MC on his chest hair. Congratulations, my love, or something like that, right?
So his post-fight call out, he called out Miley Cyrus to be his Valentine. If people didn't catch it.
Yes, yeah, true. If they didn't catch it, and so she responds. They talked to him about it in the post-fight interview. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I've been watching Miley Cyrus since Hannah Montana. I'm just like, all right, bro. The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Also, how old is he? 30? Okay,
30.
I feel like I was a kid when Hannah Montana was a kid. Little weird for someone to say who's 30. I feel like it would be okay if I said that with my age, but someone 6 years older than me, I feel like that might be just over the edge where it's a little weird.
Yeah. But he's like, check me out, man. He's like, I'm a handsome guy. I got a nice beard. I got beautiful eyes. He's selling himself to Miley Cyrus during the post-fight press conference. But dude, again, some people just got to shoot their shot.
Yep.
And good 100%. for Marquez for doing that. All right, Simone versus Kelleher.
Dude, yeah, Simone is so good, man.
He is.
He's struggled a little bit, right? Obviously, but you look at his losses and it's like, dude, they aged pretty well. What was his first loss was
Uriah Faber,
Anderson Dos Santos, and Titan FC. I don't really count that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long time ago. Uriah Faber. Granted, Uriah Faber was much older at the time, but one thing that never leaves is power. You know what I mean? You can be 50 years old and you can still crack.
Old man strength.
And then Rob Font, who we're coming to realize is one of the slickest strikers in the division. So, and he lost the decision. Unanimous, but it's not a big deal. So, talk about game plan, sticking to a game plan and executing that game plan. Simone, dude, just could not be bothered by anything Kelleher was doing. They even talked about how Kelleher has such a good guillotine, and they're like, "Are you worried about the guillotine for your takedowns?" Nope, I'm just gonna do it. Just gonna do my takedowns. I'm aware. Doesn't matter. Yep. Kelleher doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter what he's offering. Simone's sticking to that game plan. Man, he cracked him early with that elbow too at the cut. Nasty cut.
And it seemed to bug Kelleher for quite some time because as soon as he got busted up, you see him start wiping and checking and
especially in the grappling situations, right? Because he's on his back and it's just a puddle now. His eye socket's puddle of blood. A little bit better in the later rounds when he was able to get off his back quickly, and keep it standing for longer durations, so that could just run straight down and not pool up there.
Yep.
But what's weird is I think if this were UFC on Fox, when they first started, I wonder if the doctors would have stopped that, because it used to be if you have a cut and the blood's going into your eye, they call it, and it seemed like it used to happen a lot more frequently than it does now. And I wonder if that one would have got stopped, because this is a bad spot.
Do you remember when UFC on Fox first started, and there was such a scramble in between fights to wipe the blood off, and in some cases they started spraying like some type of paint.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah,
That's crazy, huh?
that's what I mean.
Like,
I wonder if on
we
Fox
can't
if they were
show
like,
how brutal this sport is.
yeah,
Can't
really
let
weird.
everybody see.
Yeah.
But man, Simone, the other thing that I really love was just beautiful timing on the level changes, man.
God,
Beautiful
yeah.
timing.
Yeah.
And it's like because I don't feel like Kelleher was telegraphing his strikes
No.
too much, but it was just
Yeah.
the timing that Simone had. The one thing they did tell him too was stop going in with your head straight down for the takedowns.
For the guillotine, yeah.
Because that was the one thing he kept on seeming like he was going to get in trouble with, but Simone made small adjustments. There was a few times after they told him that he still kept on going in, but he was like, dude, like he probably felt the grip or felt the squeeze or something, was like, he can't get me.
Like I said, dude, you just couldn't be bothered by anything Kelleher was offering. Ate two clean front kicks to the face. Doesn't matter.
But it was all Simone. All Simone.
Yeah.
The entire fight. All right. Anything else on that fight?
Did someone score it? Was this fight one of the ones where someone scored it 29-28?
I believe it was, and somebody was, I can't remember who was, Joe or DC, one of them were like, what the, who scored that?
I don't know. What are we doing here?
All right. Gastelum versus Heinisch.
Now, if they want to talk about dealing with adversity in your past, backstories, all the stuff, you don't pick custody battles. You pick Heinisch. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Insane story, dude. Insane story. When he was, I think, like 21, goes to jail for allegedly a couple things about dealing with drugs and stuff like that. But
allegedly,
dude, foreign prisons, like, dude's an animal. Man, what an animal. And you love to see someone write their course. Course correct. Yep. And
there's probably a lot of prisoners cheering this guy on now.
I'd imagine walking out to Bob Dylan too. Come on, what are we doing here? Looks like a Ninja Turtle, dude.
Gastelum looked fantastic, and this is my story of the fight.
I can see
with
that.
Gastelum, because here's a guy that everybody has high expectations of. It comes out of Tough 21, or I don't even remember exactly what season it was, where everybody thought, oh snaps, what just happened? Let me turn that off. Where Uriah Hall was like the next coming of Anderson Silva, and Gastelum with his wrestling
said, "Hold my tamales." I'm gonna...
exactly. Gets the job done, right? And then after that, he continues impressing, misses weight a few times, moves up in weight class, and moving up in weight class, you think, man, these guys are too big for him. He's not going to be able to make it. And he goes all the way, fighting for an interim title, gives Israel Adesanya just everything he could handle.
And probably the greatest middleweight, at least middleweight title fight in history. Probably greatest middleweight fight in history.
Yep. So I just feel like Gastelum has so much potential. And I've mentioned it before. I feel like it's more up here.
Yeah.
And the willpower, being able to put, you mentioned the tamales and the tortillas away, being able to focus more on fighting. And he looked like he was in phenomenal shape going into this fight. So some of the best shape I've seen him in. Looking at the embedded, he seemed like he was in a good mental space as well. He had been working out even during the pandemic when everybody was quarantined. He built his own little gym in his garage. Hopefully it's better insulated than mine. And but just
he's in San Jose now, right? I don't think he lives there though, huh?
I don't think he lives. He lives in Arizona.
Yeah, but I know he trains out of San Jose now, which is cool.
In King's MMA. I think that's Southern.
I think he switched.
SoCal. Did he switch?
He switched it. Yeah.
I thought he was in King's MMA with Rafael Cordero.
You're probably right. No, he was just born in San Jose. You're right.
Either way, somebody that has so much potential, and I think that last night he showed that he's still an extremely high caliber fighter, and somebody that should be considered, I think, a top 5 talent in the middleweight division. What do you think?
Dude, I would, yeah, I agree. I would love to see him fight someone like Robert Whittaker.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, someone like, I can't think of his name. former heavyweight, former light heavyweight. He just lost to Whitaker. Why can't I think of the guy's name?
Former heavyweight, former light heavyweight. Just lost to Whitaker? I don't know.
Yeah.
While you're looking that up, though, one thing that I picked up, Will, was this interesting...
Cannonier.
Oh, Cannonier. But was this interesting... It was like a feint, shuffle, low leg kick. I don't know how many times he did that to get inside, because he definitely didn't have the reach.
Yeah, definitely not.
You know, but I just thought it was such a beautiful and creative way to be able to get inside instead of just putting his head down and just barreling in, where he just feint, shuffle, low leg kick, feint, shuffle, kick to the body. And he kept on doing that and mixing it up. Dude, I absolutely love the performance from Gastelum last night.
Same. I was expecting him to get it done with his 1-2. His 1-2 is one of the best in the sport. But
that left straight?
I was very, very happy to see him really mix in his offensive wrestling, because I think he's one of those guys who has incredible wrestling capabilities, but just realized he's got bombs and started trading, you know? So it's cool to see him add that back and just really go after the offensive wrestling, because, dude, if he's mixing that stuff in, and now you're worried about that, and then you get hit with the 1-2, or vice versa, you're worried about the 1-2 and he level changes, dude, he has the skill set. Like you said, everybody's always been so high and has all these expectations because, dude, he shows these glimpses of, like, he's really good at some very different things, you know? Like, his game can be pretty damn effective if he really just starts putting it all together, and this is one of those ones where he really did.
Yep. Again, story of the fight for me, because I feel like we got a glimpse of what's possible with Kelvin Gastelum. I've always enjoyed watching Kelvin Gastelum.
Me too. How could you not, man? Even in the fights he loses, other than, what was the last one? Was it Hermanson? Yeah. And it was quick, right? Not much happened.
I don't know what happened with that one, man. And I was talking to one of my buddies from work, Ricardo, because I just found out Ricardo just started listening to this as well, to the podcast.
Shout out.
Huge on UFC. Shout out to Ricardo. But we were talking about Kelvin Gastelum. By the way, this was my second fight in my parlay. The first one I forgot to say, Ricky Simone, is the one I replaced Ricky Simone with.
Okay. I see what's coming.
Yeah. You see what's coming?
I see what's coming.
But and we were talking about Kelvin Gastelum and his fight against Hermanson, and how he was just so nonchalant when his leg was in trouble. And instead of exploding out of the leg lock, he just kind of was okay with trying to stand up all leisurely, and I mean, you saw what happened. It was quick.
Yeah. Dude, that just reminded me too that the parlay reminded me. You know how they do, right before the main card started, they pull these guys on who were like, oh, these are the odds experts. And like, this dude sounds like fucking Joe Pesci or something, thinks he's Joe Pesci. And he's talking about the odds. He's like, yeah, and I think this one's a dog you gotta take. And it's like, what the fuck are we listening to? And they're talking about this fight, and I think
who
Hermanson, not Hermanson, Heinisch was a plus 175 underdog, right? It wasn't that. It was. I was like, this is stylistically, this is a very clear win for Gastelum in this fight if his mental's there, right? Like, skill wise, and no disrespect to Heinisch, I think just matchup wise, I thought their wrestling was gonna probably cancel each other out, and he was gonna piece them up on the feet. That's not really what happened, but that's what I was thinking going into it. But he's like, yeah, Heinisch coming in here, plus 175. You got to take that dog. You got to take that dog in this one. And he's like talking about how this should be a much closer fight on the odds. The fact that they're giving him 175 is like, you got to take it. And it's like, but that's all he said. And I was like, is there a reason behind that? Is there a reason? He's like, you got to love these odds. And I was like, are you betting because of the odds? Do you just look at the numbers? Like, what are you doing? And then I started paying attention to everything he said. He picked like 3 fights, right? I don't even remember who he was picking. Zero insight to fighting whatsoever. Only odds based. He's like, Kamaru closed at like a minus 265, but I think at the time when the card started, he was in minus 275. He's like, this one, these odds crept up a little bit than the first time because I think we let the cat out of the bag in that that Usman should definitely be the favorite here and all this stuff. It was much closer the first time, and that's when he should have got it. But he's still like this is a good bet, and it's like, cool, I get it, but like that's all the insight he gave. It's like, who the fuck is listening to these guys and like being like, these are the experts? All right, cool, I'm gonna make my parlay with that, or I'm gonna pick these guys for just the odds. Makes sense. That's all the insight they can give. Nothing stylistic about it. It pissed me off. I don't know.
Yeah,
Fuck
so,
that guy.
Again, I don't even know his name, but now I don't like him. No, So hopefully Ricardo listened and put some money down on that parlay that I talked to him about.
Thinks he's in fucking casino or something.
You're going off on this guy.
Dude, fuck that guy, honestly.
Oh, that's hilarious. Do you have anything else on that fight?
No, but what was your parlay? How much did you put down?
It was 50.
Don't say what it was to return, but what did you put down?
Just $50 on
Nice.
Simone, Gastelum, and Usman.
And then should have kept a secret. I figured it was, but
Yeah.
What was the return?
It was like 170 something.
Not bad.
Nothing crazy.
It's not bad though.
Yeah, for a 3-fight parlay. And dude,
That's
I
a
just
good
felt
parlay.
I just felt so comfortable with that parlay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So.
Obviously, it's different when I'm thinking about it in hindsight, but going into it, those are all three pretty much who I had too.
Yeah, and there wasn't any like major dogs in there, so that's why the return wasn't massive. And I'm thinking about it, and I saw, you know how they put the little Twitter feed on there, and it was like DraftKings Sportsbook.
Yeah,
somebody put in $2,500, and if Kelvin Gastelum wins tonight by decision, he wins $30,000. And I'm just like, damn, maybe I should start like not just putting in a parlay, but picking the method. Yeah, because I felt very comfortable with Gastelum by decision. Felt really comfortable with Simone by decision. But then I think I would have lost on Usman because I was going to go Usman by decision. So that was a tough one to see how it would end.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so the next one, your girl, Maycee Barber versus Grasso.
How dare you? I'm super high on Grasso. Always have been.
So am I.
You know, when she was first coming in, I was like, here we go. I think she is in the right weight class now. This one. So
there's a couple things that frustrate me when watching fights. Okay, one of them is Holly Holmes, loud. Yeah. Every time she throws a strike.
Yeah.
The other one is Maycee Barber being a mile away from her opponent and just having like nonstop head movement and then doing like the 1-2 jab 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 1-2, and I'm like, you're this far away from your opponent. Like, and you see Grasso when she's doing that, and when she Maycee just stood there, no head movement, no footwork, nothing. Didn't need it, because Maycee Barber was so far away. You would think you'd come in with some of those feints and make Grasso think about something. Yeah. Maybe you can catch a counter off something. I don't know, but she was just so far away with all this crazy head movement. So for me, it was just so much smoke and mirrors from Maycee Barber.
Where is Maycee Barber training out of?
I don't know. She should probably switch camps though.
She has to switch camps because I think this is a very similar situation that like Ronda found herself in, where she was being told she's like, we talked about it. She's being told she's great at this, all this stuff, when clearly she hasn't shown levels improving in any of her fights. All she really offered, and this is no disrespect to her because it's got her to where she is right now, but she's very hook heavy. She throws winging hooks, chin straight up, standing right in front of you. The fact of the matter is, in that weight class, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of great striking defense. There just isn't. The talent pool is just a little shallow there, and she's getting away with it. And it's not getting corrected because she's getting away with it. But as you start getting up into the higher levels, even in a shallow division, she's just going to keep getting exposed unless she makes a change. And I don't think anybody's telling her that the change needs to be made. And this was a clear-cut, perfect example of why she needs to make a change. Grasso stayed composed. Yeah.
See her go into her corner, and when her cornerman was talking to her, and he even said, like, talk to me. What are you seeing? And she's talking to the cutman instead.
Yeah.
About how to wipe her face off. And I just thought
that.
to myself, where's your head right now?
Mm-hmm.
You like Grasso's doing work. You know what I mean? You're not getting in close enough. When you are engaging, you're coming in with those looping hooks, and Grasso's coming straight down the middle.
Yeah.
Like, why are you so worried about the way that he's wiping your sweat off?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things.
It was weird to me too.
Like,
I caught
what's
that
going
too.
on?
Also, real quick, or talking about the corners, what the fuck was up with the UFC's brand new camera they decided to bust out for this event?
Dude, okay, so I was actually going to ask you about that. Because there was a bunch of people like 8K camera, and I was like, I don't think it's 8K. An 8K camera. I think it's the lens. 8K. What is it? What are they using? Because it was a shallow depth of field, new lens, and 60 FPS, but not broadcast at 60 FPS, so it looked weird as fuck. Because the shallow depth of field means there's like a thin layer of focus. So if my face is in focus, my hands aren't here. My hands aren't here. You know what I mean? So great for cinematics. You know what I mean? When I'm doing my horror films and stuff, I shoot with a very shallow depth of field for specific shots for a specific look. Sports doesn't look good. Maybe for after the fact, maybe for when the fight's over and you're following the fighter over to the interview section and stuff like that. Cool there. After the fight, it has no business in a sports broadcast, in my opinion. I kind of liked it. I liked it when they used it in the Super Bowl to like follow players around. When they used it,
I didn't watch that.
Like during the I like the announcement when we got Buffer in there announcing the fighters.
The problem though is
that lens is on there. I liked it for that.
I'm okay with it there too. For once the fight starts, I say cut it, don't use it. Fight's over, have fun. But if you're gonna do it, have two and have them in both corners, because they did not.
We're just using one, like
they were just using one, and so Maycee Barber had
runs
it.
Across the octagon to get to the other person.
No, only one corner would have it. They cut to the other corner and it'd be the regular camera. And the big problem with this is their autofocus, right? Because it's such a shallow depth of field. Either if you're gonna do it, get better cameramen, because anytime someone passes in front of it, it autofocuses real quick, and then it takes a sec to autofocus back when the person's gone, and now the fighter's blurry, and we have to wait for it to focus. And it's quick, right? But it's annoying. And either if you're gonna do it correctly and get a better cameraman. No knock on the cameraman, but
he's sitting at home watching
this. I'll do
it. Like, what'd I do?
Yeah. I'll do it if they want to give me a call. You know what I mean?
Well, there you go. You just submit your application.
Yeah.
No, but dude, like I said, I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. And back to the fight. Great fight. And props to Barber for realizing where she was in the fight and going for broke in the third.
Yep.
Hurt her a couple times in the third. But man, Grasso just stayed so disciplined the whole fight, and that's what's going to happen. If she fights a disciplined striker, that's what's going to happen. Someone who's able to stay down the pipe and not admire their work once they land and get out on the other side with the angles. That's going to happen over and over and over again until she makes her adjustments. And this was a funny. I had a funny interaction with someone online with this fight, and by no means am I hating on Barber, right? She just needs to make adjustments. The potential is there, man. The potential is there.
Yeah.
She just has to make the adjustments. Someone said, Maycee showed future potential to beat Valentina. Grasso will get 50-45 by Valentina even when she reaches her peak. And I was like laughing my ass off. What? From jabbing the air? And then they said if Maycee is down on the scorecards, she goes all out, throws wild like crazy. If Grasso goes down on the scorecards, she loses. I don't know where they've seen that, but I was like, if the potential that Maycee showed that shows that she could potentially beat Valentina is that she goes for broke and gets not just that, but that she goes for broke and gets wild. That's the potential.
Valentina
so I was like,
would destroy her.
Yeah, so I was like, you mean she does the thing that a counter striker like Valentina hopes all her opponents do? And let's see. it gets even more ridiculous. Hold on. It's not very long.
I like how you engage in these conversations online, Will.
I love them, dude.
It just frustrates me, and I don't even try.
It's fun, you know. He said. So I said, yeah, she does exactly what a counter striker like Valentina would want to do, or want her opponent to do. And he said, "What's the alternative? Accepting a clear loss? Puncher's chance exists." And I was like, everybody has a puncher's chance. Maycee didn't show anything worth mentioning because everybody has that chance. And he said, no, they don't. Most people aren't savages like her and don't have the power. Maycee Barber has both of those. And I was like, all right, dude, we're done here.
All right, well.
It's so funny to me, dude.
Shout out to that dude, whoever that was.
That was Maycee Barber's boyfriend. Must have been, dude. That was Dana.
All right. Anything else on that fight?
No, other than Grasso, man, I'm happy for her to get a win like this because it's at the point where now people are starting to realize the holes in Barber's game, but she still gets to reap the rewards of beating someone like Barber. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think
Grasso
if Barber loses her next fight...
Yeah, I was going to say Grasso more than likely moving into the top 10, and Maycee Barber more than likely realizing I got a losing streak now. Something's got to change.
Back to the drawing board.
Yep.
You know, because you have her first loss. The last fight was her first loss was the last fight, and you have a built-in excuse there, and it is a legitimate one, right? Blew her knee out. Hard to win a fight when you blow your knee out. You could argue she was losing the fight before that. She was winning, whatever. The reality is, though, she takes her first loss, and she can. I don't know if she did this, but she can say, I didn't lose that fight. My knee gave out. That's why I lost. I don't have to change anything yet. I don't have to change anything. I was winning, whatever, arguably whatever, but you can say that in a loss like that. Now, there's no built-in excuse. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now it's, okay, I'm doing something where I'm getting picked apart here. I need to, you don't want to go 3-0 or 0-3. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she might go back and say, I might need to engage from a closer distance. You know, so who knows?
Listen, man. If they were 10 inches closer, she was jabbing her the whole time. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy because while she's 3 feet away, she's throwing these straight jabs and these whatever they are, right?
Yep.
But they're straight punches and they're fast. You know.
But when she's actually
as soon
engaging,
as she gets in striking range, it's rock on a rope, swinging chin forward. You know, so. I don't know. She has like I said, she has a ton of potential. She just needs to correct some things, you know, and hopefully this is a loss where she'll recognize that and improve upon that, you know.
Sweet. All right, this next one. By the way, it's Kamaru?
Yeah.
Kamaru Usman. So I've been pronouncing it incorrectly the entire time. And versus Gilbert Burns.
Yeah. Dude. I don't really care about the former training partners storyline, you know. It's never really been something that really speaks to me for some reason. I don't know what it is, but what does speak to me is swinging and banging,
clicking and clacking.
Clicking and clacking. And one thing that Kamaru does really well in a lot of his fights is his jab, right? It's piston. The start of this fight, I think he was, I don't know if he had the intensity he needed right away. You know, I think he was coming in. I've sparred rounds with this guy. I know his tendencies. We've done this before. There's going to be a quick little feeling out process. Then we're going to go to work. Because you notice he was throwing his jab. So he's orthodox, right? Most of the time, at least. He's throwing his left jab. And in his stance, he's like this. And then he throws his jab. And then it comes down here and then up. And jab down here, then up. Normally, it's bop, bop, right back to the spot. But the start of the fight, he's throwing it and it's coming back down. And he was lazy with it. And I think it's because of that familiarity that he felt like he had with Burns. Because right away, Burns is timing that with the overhand right. The jab's lazy and he's going right over the top of it. And cracked him good. And then Usman was like, "Oh shit,
he got hurt, man.
We're not sparring. We're not sparring."
Got hurt.
He got hurt, and I noticed this in the Covington fight, and this is not a knock to Kamaru, but his striking defense still has a lot of room to grow, because what we saw in the Colby fight was two elite wrestlers who do not get tired swing and bang, because the wrestling canceled each other out, and we're going to click and clack. But we also saw people who are not strikers first.
Yep.
Does that make sense? It was a striking match between guys who weren't strikers. So what we saw a lot of was tons of offense, not a lot of defense in that fight. They were both cracking each other for 5 rounds. You know what I mean? And you see it in Usman. He doesn't really respond well to getting hit. I don't mean he doesn't have a good chin, right? Clearly his chin is granite, right? The second overhand right that Burns landed puts people out.
Yep.
You know, we've seen him put people out with that same punch. But Usman, and it's not as bad as Brock Lesnar, right? But he gets hit, and you could tell he does not like that. And he wobbles, he reacts weird to getting hit. And he still has, because his run up to this point, his style is so much in your face, pressure, pressure, pressure. As soon as you commit, I take you down, we get back up, pressure, pressure, pressure. And his striking defense is his offense. He strikes so much, he's constantly throwing in your face that you don't have time to strike back. And when you do strike back, he takes you down. That's his defense. He's never had to patch up his striking defense because most people never even get off. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think in that Colby fight, he started, we saw that. We saw both of them landing on each other the whole fight. And Usman gets hit, and he's just kind of weird when he gets hit. And I think it's because he's just not used to it coming back. You know, and so that we saw that again in this fight is the grappling canceled each other out. You know, Kamaru's not going to take him down because he doesn't want to get submitted. Burns tried to take him down, but Kamaru's wrestling is so good that you're not taking Kamaru down. You know what I mean? So wrestling, grappling, jiu-jitsu, all that stuff canceled out. So they swung and they bung. You know what I mean? And same thing, striking defense for Usman just wasn't there until he started getting his momentum, and then there wasn't much coming back from Burns. And all of a sudden, he doesn't need a striking defense again because he's popping him with the straights, you know, constantly. Every time Burns would get set, he's getting hit. I mean, he dropped him with his jab. You know what I mean? So you could say something too. My bad.
No, you're good, man.
This has been circling in my head since last night.
No, you're good, man. I'm just listening to all your insight. I agree with everything you said, right? Burns, that overhand right, a lot of power, and Marty from Nebraska just didn't seem too comfortable until, I want to say, mid-second round, because anything he was getting tagged with after he got dropped with that right hand, he was on wobbly legs every single time. The biggest mistake I think that Burns made in the fight was stay on his back and just kick, and it gave Usman so much time to recover. Because I really, really think that if he would have continued pressuring, and he mentioned, like, I got too excited. I think I went too hard on trying to get him out. You know, I made a mistake. But I still think, man, if he would have emptied his gas tank in that first round, that we would have a new champion right now.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think because he didn't get the finish, I think he had a huge adrenaline dump. I think, dude, I cannot imagine you go into a title fight, something that you've been working so hard, and in the first exchange, you severely hurt the champ. How do you have the mental fortitude to block out I'm going to be the champ? Those thoughts. How do you block that out? I don't think maybe you can, I don't know, but it's got to be hard as hell, man. Especially when you land again, you land that knee, I think he just kind of blew his wad, and you know, like you said, once he stayed on his back for too long, Kamaru just got his head clear,
and very smart by Kamaru too, because he very easily could have stood back like he did in the later rounds and said stand up again, but he knew he's on wobbly legs, so he's like, even if it's a little a kick to his ass, a kick to his thigh, just so that it seems like it's active, and they don't force him to stand up again. I don't know whether that's something he meant to do or not, but if he did, that's genius, man. Because I thought if Usman stands up, not Usman, I'm sorry, if Burns stands up again right now, Usman's in trouble.
He's getting cracked. Yeah, man. It was, and that's what you look for in a champ. You know what I mean? You look for a champ who can deal with that adversity, get past that first round, and then finish the fight.
Ever since I thought Usman won that fight, and he's like, man, this was me at 70%. Yeah. I was like, man, I don't know how I feel about this guy, right?
Yeah.
And ever since then, again, he comes off as extremely cocky, extremely arrogant. I mean, a lot of champions do. I get it.
It seems forced to me, though. I don't think he actually is.
I don't know, man. I don't know, but I like him more after seeing him take that shot, get back up, and keep on grinding. You know what I mean? I like him a lot more, and I respect him so much more as a champion. You know, and it's like...
Yeah, and Colby hurt him, too.
He did. I just feel like he was in more trouble against
not like that.
You know, now, I feel very similar. I know you don't watch football, but Tom Brady. He's almost not human.
I've heard of him.
You've heard of that guy? Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Santa Clara boy. But he's...
Is he really?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
He's almost Mr. Perfect. Like, he does no wrong. And he wins the Super Bowl, and they pretty much have to hold his hand because he's drunk off his ass.
Yeah.
And he's like, nothing to see here, just a little tequila. You know, as he's just walking away. And I'm like, dude, it just, seeing that makes you humanize somebody, and it just makes you like them more. You know what I mean? Like, I like Tom Brady a lot more, not after he won the 7th Super Bowl. I like him a lot more after I saw him piss drunk.
Be human.
And be human. And with Usman, I think seeing him take that shot, and it seemed like he was in trouble, man. And it just,
I thought it was over, honestly.
I saw him be human as well, and it made me like Usman more.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I mean, he's just so dominant, man. Honestly, dude, gutted for Burns. Seeing him after the fight, dude, like in the cage still, just absolutely brutal, man. You can tell he wanted it so bad, dude.
I took a picture of that afterwards, and I was gonna post it on our Instagram, by the way. At Story of the Fight on Instagram. Give us a follow. But it wasn't the best quality. But I wanted to post that because it just shows, again, I always talk about what the fighters go through, right? And how much this means to them. They don't make, $30 million a season.
Tom Brady money.
They don't make Tom Brady money. They make a living and they know what they sign up for. But a lot of this is just passion and drive and motivation to be considered the best in their weight division in the world. And when you see somebody like Gilbert Burns that's been working towards it his entire life, doing jiu-jitsu since he was a kid, and it's all culminated at this moment, and you could just see the emotion pour out of him. When he was sitting, he hadn't even gotten up on the stool yet. When he was sitting on the octagon, and you see Marty from Nebraska looking at him, and you could see that he was heartbroken for him. Dude, it's just, those are the moments. This is the drama. All that shit about the
Who cares about former teammates? Oh, that too.
John Anik was talking about the former teammates, all that stuff. That doesn't matter. Like, this is like seeing these two men battle each other, trying to be considered the best at what they do in their weight division, and then the agony and defeat, and the joys of victory. Dude, that's where it's at, man.
Dude, even Kamaru, after the fact, when Gilbert was crying like that, and you see him heavy breathing, just watching and like trying to stay mad, because I honestly feel like he was just trying to block out himself from like opening up like that, because that dude, it's a former teammate, he likes the guy. There's no bad blood there. And people were talking shit about Kamaru not touching gloves before the fight. Dude, once they're in there, all that stuff's history, man. You gotta do what you have to do to get your mind right, and clearly it worked for Kamaru, So people talking shit about him not touching gloves. Come on.
You talked about the former teammate stuff, like my friend Katie at work too. She was saying like I got Burns, they're former teammates. I feel like he knows everything that Usman has in his tool belt, and I was like, well, that means Usman knows everything that Burns has in his tool belt. Like, I don't read too much into the former teammate thing. And like I know
if
people were
anything-
saying like we've seen him practice and we know how that ended up a lot of the time. So I got Burns. It's like, come on.
Dude, and not just that, but if you're going to play that card of Burns knows Usman's tools, like you said, Usman knows Burns' tools, but Burns doesn't know what the hell he's been working on with Trevor Whitman. And that's a lot.
One of the best in the world,
Trevor
man.
Whitman is, so if anything, the advantage would go to Kamaru, not to Burns, you know?
Yep.
But like I said, I don't really read into too much to all that stuff because you could be Brock Lesnar in the gym, you know what I mean, and show up and you're Ben Askren in the fight, you know?
Yep. Oh,
So-
hey, why you gotta do Ben Askren like that, man?
Listen, man, it's just the first two names that came to me, but
Ben Askren.
I feel like, I don't want to disrespect any fighters, you know, but I feel like Ben Askren doesn't really give a shit, so.
But man,
throw his name
both
under the
fighters
bus.
showed up, and I think that Burns can still walk away from this extremely proud. And
definitely.
Usman again showing the heart of a champion. Might go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, welterweights to ever do it by the time that he's all said and done.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think he has a chance.
Yeah, he has a chance. I just feel like without like that kind of talk, especially with the way Joe says it, it's like you can say that about any champ.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So why say it until they're close? In my opinion, Kamaru's not close yet. Yeah, he has the win streak. He just broke GSP's win streak. But come on, let's not pretend like they're the same win streaks. You know
I
what I mean?
think
How many of those
it's going to come down to
Kamaru?
the top 5 that you were talking about, and whether we're going to continue
Yeah,
trying to do
it's
these
not even on
rematches,
Usman.
or whether
It's
you're
not on
gonna,
Usman.
yeah, or whether you're going
That's
to
what sucks.
start bringing contender after contender after contender in, and Usman cleaning house. And I think it's going to be
That's
a lot
what it
easier
takes.
at that point to say, hey, this guy is probably going down as the greatest of all time at the welterweight division.
That's what it takes.
If you continue saying, well,
How many title defenses did GSP have? Was it like 9?
oh, I don't even remember.
Something like that. And how many were duplicates? You know,
Yeah,
like it's just something that it happens more now than it used to, and it's unfortunate because that's what it takes, man. You want to get your name solidified there, like John Jones was talking about it with when they started calling Khabib the greatest of all time and stuff. Title defenses matter, man. They really do because they're different.
Yep.
You see the 5th round of Izzy versus Gastelum. You see what Kamaru did here to come back after that first round. Title fights are the ones that's your metric.
Yep.
You know?
You're fighting the best of the best. The best of the best.
Yeah.
All right.
While the win streak is great for Kamaru, what is this? Is this his 3rd title defense?
I think it's the 3rd?
Yeah,
Second.
I think it's the 3rd.
3rd?
Those 3 title defenses, right? Yeah, Colby,
Yep.
Jorge,
Masvidal,
and yeah. So those 3 weigh heavier than every other fight in his career,
Yeah.
and it's not even close, you know. So he has the potential, but like I said, you could say that about any champ. You know, if you're a champion, you have the potential to go down as the greatest. It matters. I just wish we talk about it so much. You know, not me and you, but just like the MMA world is always concerned about the greatest of all time. Max Holloway, the greatest featherweight of all time. Izzy Adesanya, already the greatest middleweight. It's like, are we forgetting about Anderson Silva? Like, we need to cool it until we're close to that door.
I think people just want to feel like they're witnessing greatness during
100%.
their era.
And I understand that.
That's what it is.
And I get that.
Yep.
And we might be,
Maybe.
really might be.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
All right, man. You ready to move on to Will's Wisdom?
Let's do it.
All right. So, Nate Diaz recently went on a Twitter rant saying he's the uncrowned king. On Ariel Helwani's podcast, he said that he already owns the 155 division. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
I know
love
this
it,
might
honestly,
be a tough one for you.
I love it. It bums me out to see Nate not want to do 155 because there's a lot of winnable fights there for him, in my opinion. And I feel like that's him at 155, regardless of opponents. 155 is where he is at his peak. I just think 170, the 170-pound people they're just too big for him. He's not a real welterweight.
Yep.
Those Conor fights at 170 were not welterweight fights. They were 155 fights without a weight cut. You know what I mean? So he could fight lightweights at 170 and I'll be happy. I'm totally cool with that. But but I don't want to see him fight Kamaru.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't want to see him fight Gilbert Burns, even Colby. Just stylistically, also, it's just not a good matchup for Diaz's style. So it bums me out to see that he doesn't want to fight at 155 ever again. I get it. He's older in his career, right? It's a hard weight cut because, unfortunately, the right weight cuts are the hard ones for these fighters. That's where the game is at right now.
Yep.
If you're at your weight class, unless you're heavyweight, if you're at your weight class, the weight cut's going to be hard, you know? Yeah, it just sucks, you know? But I do like seeing him say that he wants to stay active and all that stuff. I do like that he called out that he respects Charlie Olives, you know, because it takes a lot to earn the Diaz brothers' respect, and I do think Oliveira deserves it.
Yep.
That's a fight I would love to see. I would love to see that fight at 155, not at 170.
Yep.
But
all right. Edwards, Leon Edwards recently said that he wants Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington, or Nate Diaz. If you are Edwards' advisor, who does he fight next?
Nate Diaz.
Awesome.
Yep. It's a winnable fight. He probably wins that fight. Anything can happen, right? It's a fight. But Masvidal, he just needs a win right now. He needs to be active and he needs a win. And the easiest fight for him is an inactive Nate Diaz at 170.
Yeah.
You know?
Word.
So if I'm his manager, that's what I'm taking. You get a lot of eyes on it, and it's a winnable fight.
Cool.
As a manager, what else do you want, you know?
Word on the streets is Poirier versus McGregor trilogy is next for the lightweight title. If you're the matchmaker, is that your next move?
No, but I also did see, I think Dana said if they do that trilogy, it's not going to be for the belt.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Right on. So it'd just be for a lot of money.
A lot of money. And Conor doesn't get to say, fuck off with the belt again. Yep. So if he wins, he doesn't have the belt. So he still has a reason to be in the UFC. It's as like the purist, as the sport, right? Not the spectacle, but as the sport. It's so, this matchmaking decision right now is so easy for lightweight. It's insane to me that people are even disputing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you do Dustin versus the Bronx for the title. You do Chandler versus Gaethje for the number one contender, and you do Conor versus Tony Ferguson.
Yep.
Or you do Conor versus, the only thing that's debatable is Conor's next fight, in my opinion. It's either Tony Ferguson or it's Nate Diaz for the trilogy.
Okay.
And I get it, that's the spectacle, right?
Yep.
But fuck it, dude. Conor hasn't had a win in how long? You know what I mean? So.
Word.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Dana has stated Jones will fight the winner of Stipe versus Ngannou. If John Jones wins, what does that do for his legacy in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, if he wins the heavyweight belt, I mean, that's how you become the GOAT. You know what I mean? You have all your title defenses at light heavyweight, you go up, then you get a belt. That's how you do it, man. You know?
He did it the right way. He finally did something the right way.
Yeah, well, we'll see if he does it.
Yeah, exactly.
What bothers me about that, though, you know what bothers me about that? And I understand trilogies, especially at heavyweight, have bogged down the division for a long time. But if Francis wins, they're 1-1. I would want to see the trilogy.
Yeah.
You know? I think Stipe is the greatest heavyweight the UFC has ever seen. It's arguable with Fedor, right? But as far as UFC goes, Stipe has to be the number one of all time, and the guy just seems to get zero respect. Zero respect.
All right.
But
buying or selling this, in the post-fight press conference, Dana says that they're going after one of the big streamers. Same thing he said after the last pay-per-view during the presser. Are you buying or selling that?
Yeah, no, it's bullshit. Dana doesn't understand streaming at all, because guess what? I had like 20 streams to choose from. And guess what? They all worked. If the biggest streamer isn't the ones that I'm using, I didn't realize I was that underground. You know what I mean? And Dana fucked up when he said that, because if the biggest streamer wasn't streaming a pay-per-view event, it's because the pay-per-view wasn't worth a pay-per-view.
Oh, damn.
So like he just shot himself, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Dana
that's
doesn't
hilarious.
understand shit about the internet, dude. It's
That
so
is
funny.
hilarious.
The best part is I think he actually does truly believe that. I think someone told Dana that.
Well, he's probably
like,
got
yeah.
somebody that's part
Yeah.
of the streaming takedown group now within the UFC that's getting some type of payroll, and they're like, "Hey, Dana,
I'm like, dude,
we got
we're doing
somebody.
great.
Yeah, we got somebody on our in our site here. We'll see if we catch them." Hey, both times, Dana, those people that we're after didn't stream. This is working.
Yeah.
Keep those paychecks coming.
Hey, guess what? If you want to stream fights, you can always VPN to the Netherlands because pay-per-views are free in the Netherlands and you can stream them online for free in the Netherlands. So if you use a VPN to the Netherlands, it's not even technically illegal. You just hop on the official website and watch them.
What?
Yeah. So what? Come on. This
dude.
game of cat and mouse with streamers it's so fun to me.
All
You know
right,
what I mean?
dude. That's all I have for Will's wisdom.
Nice.
That's
It's a good
it.
one.
Yeah. Do we have anything else for this week?
Not that I can think of, no.
All right, so
Got a
we'll
decent
finally
little
put
card
this
coming up.
contest up for the free shirt. Now that one of us wore the shirt, it's the one that Will
Yeah.
is wearing right now. So, story of the fight on Instagram, right? Story of the fight at gmail.com if you're trying to email us anything. If you want to ask us some questions for Will's wisdom for this next round. Story of the fight on Twitter. We also have MMA Talk Community by Story of the Fight on Facebook as well, which has been really active. It's a lot of fun talking with folks about fights on there as well. Am I missing anything else?
Ramiro's on there, but I'm not.
Yeah, I'm on there.
If you're trying to talk to me, dude, why bother? Don't even try. You know what I mean?
You're too busy fighting with trolls online on Reddit.
No, the best way to talk to me is probably just the YouTube comments. That's pretty much the only thing I'm like really involved with.
Love it. All right,
Ramiro's handling a bunch of other stuff.
but Story of the Fight, that's the t-shirt. It's an awesome shirt. Again, contest will be going up today. Well, today, that'd be Monday, because today we're recording on Sunday. It's going to be up within the next couple days here. Keep your eyes peeled, follow those instructions to see if you can win one of those shirts. Will, you don't have anything else?
Nope.
That's all I got. All right. Everybody, thank you for listening to Story of the Fight.